Hello, my bright, beautiful souls, and I hope this day is bringing you such joy and pleasure and happiness into your life. I just wanted to be able to come to you today and be able to talk about some of the frequent questions that I asked. Well, one in particular: how do I use sage and Palo Santo? And alongside of that, many people are asking if there are different alternatives to be able to be using the traditional sages and cleansing tools. And so in this video, I am going to be able to explain some of those different types of sages that are available to you, the different smells that they may have, what they're best used for, and of course, how to be able to use them, as well as going to give you some alternate options to being able to burn sage or burn cleansing tools that will be able to help you be able to get both self energy cleansing and home cleansing for your aura and the energy to be able to promote this sense of well-being and harmony. So let's go ahead and dive into this world of sage. And first, I'm going to explore some fantastic options for you to be able to use in your cleansings and in your home space and your personal space. So the first question is, what is sage? Well, sage is a sacred herb that has been used for centuries in various cultures of cleansing and protection. The most common type that you're going to encounter is going to be a white sage. Now, this white sage is going to come in many different forms. It's going to come in these small 4-inch torches. It's going to come in 4-inch sticks, but mainly 6 and 9-inch sticks, as well as 12-inch sticks. Okay. And in the world of sage, bigger isn't necessarily better. Just because you have a larger sage stick does not mean that the entire thing is going to be used in one session. Often just a few small little leaves is all that you're going to be able to need. You just break off a couple of these things from a larger stick, and voila, you'll have that for a personal cleansing. However, when you're doing a deep cleaning, like for an entire home, then you will need a larger stick. Obviously, something like this is not going to clean your entire home. To ensure the cleansing that you want to focus on a specific area of the space and allow the smoke to be able to circulate and penetrate into the depths of the corners. You want it to be able to go in a deep cleaning, to go into your cupboards, into the drawers, all of the little nooks and crannies. I'll get into your closets and into your storage spaces. Just allow the smoke to be able to fill and radiate all of that little space and get rid of all of where that negativity likes to hide. So decide where you're going to be starting, and then go to the opposite end of your home and crack the window. And this is what this is going to do, is it's going to allow you to get all of that negative energy to flow out, so that when you go over to the other side and you start in a particular manner, you'll be able to flow through the home and pushing all of the negativity that gets released from all of these nooks and crannies out that window on the far side of the home. Now, when you're using the sage, overkill is when you use too much. It's when the smoke builds up so much that your fire alarm goes off. And you don't want that. Simply, if it does happen, simply just open a window or a door by the affected alarm. Turn on a ceiling fan if you have one. Use your feathers and go over there and fan the air, and just try to get some circulation through. There's no need to freak out and, oh my gosh, my alarm's going off. No. Don't worry about all that. Just simply go over there, turn on the fan, grab your feathers, and just wave it around a little bit up there by the smoke detector, and it'll turn off easily. After you've got the fan and the alarm turned off, go ahead and just extinguish the remaining amount of sage that you have left in your stick, because your home is full of smoke and the smoke's going to get everywhere and you don't need any more. So just extinguish whatever's left. You're going to be done for that day and that session, okay? Always remember to have good ventilation during the saging process. And be very mindful of anybody that does have smoke sensitivity or smoke allergies. If somebody is allergic to white sage or has a hard time with that white sage, try the dragon's blood, try the desert sage, try one of the other things, resins, something that doesn't resonate and cause an allergic reaction, because you don't want somebody else not being able to breathe. Quick tip, use the same smudging bowl every time after you extinguish your sage, and keep the residue that is left over from that burnt sage. And I'll show you in a later video of how to be able to make your own black salt. Quick little witch tip. So now I'm going to be going over a few more things about sage and everything and how they differ. And then we're going to be able to move on to different options and of different types of sages to be able to use. But I wanted just to throw in a little quick tip here that if you're liking the video so far, or if you're liking what you're seeing and having interest in wanting to see more of this type of content, hit that like and the subscribe button below. You can leave a comment of something that you would like to find out more about in your next videos. All right. So now back to the sage. White sage is renowned for the smoke that it produces. And white sage is commonly used in smudging ceremonies to clear the negative energy, to promote spiritual healing, and create sacred space. This herb is, yes, it is a herb, but this herb is believed to be able to enhance intuition. And white sage is renowned for its smoke and the commonly used smudging in smudging ceremonies and negative energy removal. It promotes spiritual healing and creates a beautiful sacred space. This herb is believed to be able to enhance intuition and connect individuals to their higher selves, thus making the white sage one of the top choices for meditations and spiritual practices around the globe. But again, if some people's not liking the white sage, we definitely have other options. Beyond the energetic benefits of white sage, it also has antibacterial properties, which can contribute to physical cleansing of one's space. And the overall white sage serves as a potent tool in fostering emotional balance and enhancing spiritual awareness and promoting a sense of peace and well-being. So how do you use this? Well, we've discussed before was you can break off a small piece for your own personal use. And then you simply just light the sage on the end, like so. Let it burn just a little bit. It'll burn itself out most of the time, and that's perfectly fine. As long as you have this smoke coming up and the beautiful, beautiful smoke coming up, this is what you want, and this is all you need. And you can then go ahead and cleanse your outside aura of your being and all over yourself, making sure to get all of your inchages. Also, when you're cleansing, remember to get under your feet, because a lot of people forget that your feet are connected to the earth, and it is very important to get your entire aura, and your aura does go down and into the earth. So lift your feet and sage underneath, just like you're saging around and underneath your arms, or under between your legs, in between the crotches. Like if this is your legs, go in between your legs and get all of the entire leg. Now, the first thing you need to do is to always remember, whenever you're doing a spiritual practice, your first thing you need to do is set an intention. So if you're going to be going through and cleansing your home, you'll want to set the intention of what do you want to have happen during this process. As you become more familiar with the different techniques that help you be able to release your old belief systems, you are going to be able to find within yourself different availabilities and be able to change different cleansing techniques and be more advanced with everything. But Always, no matter which practice that you're using during this lifetime, your intention is key. Well, that intention is going to be so much for setting forth the bringing about of what you truly want in your life. So before I light my large sage stick, I'm just going to hold it in my hands like so. And I'm just going to set the intention that I am going to be using this sage to clear all of the negativity within me and my home, allowing for a bright, vibrant, loving light to illuminate my soul and bring in positivity and love and guidance to me. Okay, now that we've set our intention, now we are going to light our sage. Now, if you look at the ends of the sage, they're both the same. It doesn't matter because they've taken a little cutting tool and they've cut it off. And so that's why you can start with the big ones, and you might have large sticks on one end, or you might have more leaves on one end. I like to choose the side that has a little bit more leafage because it'll catch fire a little bit better and a little bit easier. You can use a regular lighter and just go ahead and hold it down here and light down below. And this takes a little bit of time, but it can be done, and you just hold it on there and you let it engulf. And then you've got your little bit of smoke. Now I can show you that these embers in here, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but that's going to be dying off here soon. And that's okay, because you can always relight. If you have a larger tool, then you can simply flamatize it and get more in-depth going on in there. Doesn't really matter how you light it. Modern technology, isn't it great? Again, the key factor is that this smoke is here, and now that you have your smoke, and you've set your intention, you're able to go ahead and go out and into the home and use this sage. Now, one of the things that you use when you're using sage or Palo Santo of any sort is going to be your feathers. And you can have just a regular feather that you can go out and you can find in your nature, and you just simply whoosh the smoke and allow it to go in the area that you're wanting it to move into, and just simply fan it that direction. Okay? It's so much fun to play with smoke. Whoosh. Okay. Once you are done saging your home, your area, and you have sage left, or the fire extinguisher goes off, and I was telling you to extinguish the remaining amount of sage, you can do this a couple of different ways. You can get a fire resistant container. I love cast iron, and these small little cast iron cauldrons are fun in a lot of ways, but they're also heat resistant, and they are also going to be a great way for me to douse my sage. So I can go ahead and just put the sage stick in there and twirl it around a little bit, and bits and pieces of it's going to fall off inside. Okay, and you can go ahead and you can twirl it around in there, and you can break it off and just sit there and chomp at it for a little bit. Now that some people like to do that, you can also grab some salt and just put it in a little bowl and just extinguish your flame in the salt. And that'll stop that from occurring. And then you just tap off that extra salt, and you're ready for your next use. So it doesn't matter if you just like to sit there and mush it. You might break off a couple of extra leaves, but that's okay too, because if they do break off, then you simply just have individual sticks for personal cleansing later on. So that's how we go ahead and extinguish a flame. Okay, so beyond the white sage, there's several other varieties of sage that you can use. So you've got your regular sage, but then you can get some sage with lavender placed either internally on it or a flowering bed on the top. And this beautiful hybrid is a traditional sage. The lavender goes and adds and promotes relaxation and helps reduce stress in addition to the sage. Makes it an excellent choice for calming and peaceful environment. The sweet floral scent of lavender is very uplifting and enhancing emotional well-being. It helps you to dispel negativity and to invite in tranquility and harmony into your space that you are cleansing. Its calming properties are beneficial for when you're in meditations or for helping with mental clarity and emotional balance. Lavender sage is wonderful for those who are seeking to enhance their spiritual practices and fostering a sense of inviting and involving and uplifting their atmosphere. Another flower that is used in traditional sage is purple, forgive me if I butcher this, sinuata. It's this strikingly beautiful flower, and it's combined with this white sage, and it helps to promote healing and spiritual cleansing. It is a sage that can help dispel the negativity. It can create a calming atmosphere, and again is ideal for meditations, relaxation, enhancing intuition, while also fostering a deep connection with your higher inner self. And it promotes self-discovery and personal growth. Desert sage. Desert sage is distinguished by its weedy appearance and its rustic air from that environment that it grows in out there in the desert. It's renowned for cleansing and purifying properties. Desert sage is going to help you clear the negative energy and help you promote emotional balance and create a sense of an atmosphere. Its smoke is going to enhance spiritual connection, clarity, and making it popular choice for any meditation ritual practices. Desert sage is also associated with the protection. It creates this barrier for unwanted energies, keeping the unwanted energies out and allowing the positive energies to come in. So desert sage is amazing that way. Now, real quick, any of these sages you are going to light the same way. Desert sage or any of your white sages with the flowers in them are going to be harder to light. And so I do recommend a higher velocity torch for lighting it. The little ones just aren't going to quite ignite it well enough, and it just doesn't want to catch on fire quite easily enough and will burn out easy. So if you use the larger torch, you can really get that flame going on those flowers and get that so that it's going to be nice and hot so that the flowers will actually burn and get that energy of the flower into the air as well as that white sage. Okay. And so once again, you can either simply mush it out inside of your cauldron. Ta-da! Or you can use your salt and just tap it out in there. Either way. So those are the ways to be able to do that. Same with the desert sage. You just simply just light it in. Get those embers up and glowing. Get those bright embers, because those bright embers is what's going to make that smoke come out and make that so that you're able to use that in your rituals. And if it starts going out a little bit when you're walking around or whatever, and you don't want to go back and grab your lighter, just simply give it a little blow. And it just brings it back to life. It smells so good. Okay. I'm just going to set that in here for now. Now, again, once you extinguish all of this stuff, I'm just going to give you a little quick tip. Keep all of this that's in here. Keep all of that smoke, or all of that, not the smoke, but keep all of that little resin and all of the charred off pieces that came from this in here. And we'll teach you how to be able to make some black salt for your own personal use for later. You simply just use that resin, that residue that you have from all of your sages, and you add salt to it, mix it up, and the salt turns black, thus black salt. Simple to do, simple to use. There's a few other little energy tips and stuff that we'll talk about later, but basically that's just the gist right there. Moving on to our next set of sage is rosemary sage. Rosemary sage is very similar to desert sage, but when you look at it closely, you're going to see differences in the lines where the rosemary sage is going to have those little flakes of rosemary, that just like what you see in your kitchen when you use rosemary in your kitchen. Those little tiny shards are going to be present in your rosemary sticks. So rosemary is a blend of white sage and rosemary. It's very uplifting and invigorating. Its properties are great for cleansing rituals. It promotes clarity and enhances mental focus. And it also stimulates creativity. Rosemary is amazing for creativity. Its refreshing scent can help dispel out all this negativity and create a positive clearing for your meditations. It's also a great stick to burn when you're studying. It helps with your memory. It helps you be able to clear out all of the other crap and helps you be able to remember what's going on. Same with peppermint, by the way. But rosemary sage has protective qualities in aiding of shielding the mind and spirit from that external negativity. Rosemary is a powerful, powerful ally that enhances both spiritual and emotional wellness. So now let's talk about dragon's blood sage, or dragon's blood. Dragon's blood comes from the Terracossus tree, which is just another name for a dragon tree. And it drops out this beautiful blood red resin. And it is just a favorite to so many people using this natural resin. And it can be ground up into a fine powder and infused into the white sage. It can also be turned into this milky substance, the sticky milky substance, which they then dip the resin into. And it's just a different type of infusing process for the sage. And so this is just a real quick tip for you, that dragon blood sage, it is going to be this bright red sage. It's going to look just like this because they take white sage and then they infuse the dragon's blood into the white sage and then they bound it up just like this. I'm currently out of that, but if you leave a comment below that you're interested, I will get more onto the website for you so that you'll be able to go to lotusmoonsanctuary.com and we'll get some more of that in there. But leave a comment and letting me know that you're interested in getting that. Dragon's blood is a beautiful red resin that comes from that dragon's blood tree. And so you can use it, get the dragon's blood sage and use it that way, or you can use it in a pure resin form. Dragon's blood is known for its prominent cleansing properties, making it a particularly effective dispelling against negative energies. It's really designed for times when you need that extra boost to get rid of that extra negativity. It provides a strong protective barrier against all of the different negative influences that are out there. It gets rid of stuff that regular other alternative things that keeps coming back after you've used alternative cleansing tools, and you're like, I just need this gone, use the dragon's blood. That's what it's there for. When burned dragon's blood sage, it releases this rich, earthy aroma that is not only a very grounding and integrative essence of emotional strength and clarity, it often is used in rituals aimed for empowerment and prosperity and spiritual growth. Its combined energies are to amplify the intuitions and to deepen deep concentration in the spiritual realm by your intentions, and it helps really deepens one's connection into the spiritual realm. Additionally, dragon's blood sage can be beneficial for enhancing creativity, just like rosemary. It is great for inspiration and making favorite choice for artists, for being able to break through that blockage. Or if there's something blocking you personally, using some dragon's blood sage in a meditation can help you get down and into that, find that deep rooted space that you need to be able to release that blockage so that you can continue to grow spiritually. So it is amazing for getting rid of internal as well as external blockages that are invading your space. Dragon's blood promotes both protection and personal transformation, and that's what we're all here for right now, is personal transformation. So this is an amazing, amazing tool for that. Oh, and one other thing real quick, when I was talking to you about how they break down that dragon's blood into that powdered form and then infuse it with the white sage, it is possible when you get it that some red dragon's blood might fall off of your sage. Your sage isn't broken, okay? It's not broken. It falls off naturally and it's perfectly fine. It's not going to, oh my gosh, I have to get all this on here. No, okay? Don't worry about if it falls off. If it does, then you can use it in one of your other resin forms if you want to gather it. Otherwise, just use your sage stick, your dragon's blood sage stick, and it'll be just fine. It's just completely natural process of what happens. So all is good, no worries. Next, let's go ahead and let's move to Palo Santo. Palo Santo is a holy wood. It's another powerful, powerful cleaning tool. And one thing with Palo Santo that we want to make sure is how Palo Santo is gathered. There are many, many ways that Palo Santo can be gathered, but the best beneficial way for not only you, but for the environment and the Palo Santo tree that it comes from, is to not use a live tree. Very, very important. If you see a live Palo Santo tree or a holy wood tree, don't chop it down, okay? Palo Santo or holy wood actually, as it grows and rejuvenates, the wood actually drops off. Branches will drop off as it goes through its transformation, as it goes through its growth and its rebirth. And so people that know their Palo Santo and tend to their Palo Santo vineyards or groves or whatever they want to call them, will go around and just gather off of the ground and then turn those pieces into your Palo Santo sticks. So it's going to be very common that your sticks are not going to be the same. And I like to take a little engraving stick and just engrave like love or peace, or again, your intuition, your intentions. Your intentions are critical. So by putting that intention into this piece of stick is going to be all about love and energy coming forth. They're going to be bigger, they're going to be smaller, sometimes they're going to be thin, sometimes they'll be thick. It's okay. It doesn't have to be a specific way. It is a natural tree. And depending on where it was on the branch or limb that fell off of the tree, and depending on how it looks when the bark has been removed, is going to depend on its thickness or thinness, and it's all going to work the same. Okay, so don't worry about its shape. Don't worry about anything other than how was it cultivated? How was it gathered and harvested? That is key, 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 key. And there is a amazing grove out in California that is very, very particular, and they do an amazing job. And this is where I get my Palo Santo from. And we make sure that it's actually gathered in a religious ceremony, and it's it really makes a difference in your sticks. So if you're going to be particular about anything, be particular about it, how it's gathered, and how it does not harm the live tree. Okay, so Palo Santo again is also known as holy wood. It is a holy spiritual amazement because the cleansing tool, they considered it from the gods, this wood, because of its amazing benefits. So to use this, again, I'm going to use a smaller stick just because time. You can use your lighter and you can sit here and you can hold it forever. Now, because it is wood, it is going to take quite a while to light and quite a while to get going. But you can do that and you get your flame going. And you want this one to actually burn a little bit longer than you do the sage before you blow it out, simply because wood takes a little bit longer to get those embers on, to make it so that it glistens and burns. And now I heard the little snapple. I'm starting to see some embers, so I blow that out. And you can see the red embers along the burning stick. And that is how you light your Palo Santo sticks. Again, go through, use your feather, whoosh your smoke around, and put it into all of the little corners and crevices that are in your home. Get it in your drawers, get it in the closets, get it in all of the little tiny spaces. This wood has a very sweet and calming aroma. It's often used to invite in positivity energy into a workspace or into a home. My son actually loves the Palo Santo more than the sage. He thinks that this sweet smell is like wonderful. Me, it's either way. I can take it or I can leave it, but my son is like, yes, Palo Santo all the way. So, I give him 3 sticks of Palo Santo and it lasts him for however long, and he's just thrilled to death. So again, when you're done with your Palo Santo, you can, because it's wood, it's a lot harder to extinguish by putting in here because, it's wood. So you'd have to really mesh it around in there to do that, but it is possible. You can also just dip it right into your salt and twirl it around in there. Just flick off all of that extra salt if you're going to do it that way. As I've demonstrated blowing it, it's not going to blow out. It's going to increase the embers, no matter if you're using sage or Palo Santo. Blowing on it is going to make those embers burn brighter and be more powerful, get more smoke. So if you're extinguishing it, douse it. If you're lighting it or needing an extra little boost, to blow on it. Okay. One more thing to talk about with the Palo Santo stick is that many people, when you burn Palo Santo, when they smell the wood burning, they will think that the house is on fire. So you need to be very, very careful with that because you are burning wood and homes are made out of wood for the most part. So allow people to know that you're burning some Palo Santo so that they don't start running around the house thinking the house is on fire. So next we're going to talk about alternatives to sage and to Palo Santo. And there's plenty of options. And the first thing I'd like to talk about is going to be our resins. And this is frankincense. And frankincense and myrrh is a traditional incense that can be burned for purification and for grounding. So this is the frankincense, and it's these little tiny yellowy pebbles of resin that comes off of the tree. And so they just go and they just get the resin off of the tree for the frankincense. And then myrrh is another type of resin that comes off of some trees, and it's a little more barky feel, where the dragon's blood is a little bit more, is a little smoother and more glistening. It kind of shines a little bit more. The myrrh is more woodsy, it's more of a wood feel and texture, and a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. Woodsy, and so this one just has a little bit. The dragon's blood has a little bit more shine to it, and this just looks like pieces of bark off of a tree, because basically that's what the myrrh is the bark off of a tree versus the resin that seeps out of the tree, or the dragon's blood that seeps out of the tree. So it's just a little bit of how it's gathered and things like that. Now this is Three Kings blend, and it is a blend of frankincense, of myrrh, and another resin called benzoin. Now this combination is excellent for creating a sacred atmosphere, and it's a favorite among resin users. It's got an amazing smell. The combination of the three together is amazing. And when you talk about the Three Kings, the in the stories of the Bible, if you want to go back, and they give frankincense and myrrh. Well, they also gave the benzene resin as well. And so that is why it is called the Three Kings, is because each of the kings gave, one gave frankincense, one gave besan, and one gave myrrh, something like that. And so that is an amazing, amazing blend. And I have people loving this and asking for this particular Three Kings blend all the time. So you're going to be saying, how do I use and burn this? Because I don't want to hold this little tiny resin and light it on fire. I'm going to burn my hand. No. That's why we're doing this video. You don't burn resin the same way you burn incense or Palo Santo, or the incense sticks you light and you blow out. You know that. The sage you light, you blow out. But with resins, a resin incense you use in a different way. First, you actually need to get your fire safe container. And cast iron is wonderful, and I absolutely love my cast iron cauldrons. One, they look cool, and two, they are an amazing functionality. Now, I got this little guy because he was so cute, and he has this beautiful little decoration on him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so adorable. But if you look, it has this rounded bottom, so that when you set it down, where is it actually setting? The cauldron, the cast iron that heats up, is actually setting on the table itself. So if you use a tablecloth or something, this is going to get really hot, and you're going to put a hole in here. So I highly, highly recommend, if you're going to get a small cast iron, that you get one with feet. And the feet are going to help hold it up off of the ground, and it's going to make it so that that space in there between the table and the cauldron or the cast iron isn't going to get too hot and cause warpage on your table or burn your tablecloth or anything like that. So if you're going to get one of these, get one with feet on it. I also recommend one with a handle because, again, this is going to get very, very hot. And if you need to move it, or if you have it, the incense burning inside and you're walking around to fan with your feather, you can hold on to the handle and you don't have to worry about burning your fingers. Okay. There are many different types of ways that you can do this type of a thing. Like if you have your incense and you can just set it there in an incense burner or on an incense stick up at an angle like this so the smoke's burning over here. So you get your cauldron and you're going to need to get your lighter sticks, your charcoal. Now there are several brands of charcoal and I haven't really found one that's better than another one, but this Sweet Light, if I had to say one brand over another, the Sweet Light actually I like more because it's easier to light, but basically they're all the same. So you're going to open this up. It's going to hold about 10 little tiny discs. And these are little charcoal discs. And if you notice, there is a dip on the one side in here. And then it's got a rounded edge on the other side. So this side right here is what you were going to be lighting and turning into a red ember flame. Just like everything else, we want to light this. And then once this is lit, we're going to put it in the cauldron. And we're just simply going to add a couple pieces of our resin of our choice onto the disc as it's lit inside of our cauldron. You don't need a lot, that much right there. That's going to do you forever. So the little tiny bit of this stuff lasts a long way. This is hot. You just drop like that on there. And then, but you do have to redo because once this is burnt out, you're going to have to grab some more and add some more on there. But this little allotment right here of your resin, that'll last you for freaking ever. I mean, there's one use, there's two uses, I mean, you don't use a whole lot of this stuff at all. And so that is another reason why it's so sought after, is because it does not take a lot. Next, when you are lighting your charcoal, if I were to hold the charcoal in my hand and light it, I'm going to burn my fingers, you know. So we do a little bit different, and you get a pair of tongs and you hold your charcoal in your tongs. Now there are several different types of tongs that you can get. Okay, but I highly recommend the tongs with a rubber handle, because these tongs that are just strictly metal, they are going to, again, get very hot with you holding the charcoal. The heat's going to conduct and go through these. You can get some with circular handles, or you can get them with a little bit more elongated, and it makes it so you can hold your fingers in there a little bit better. But again, I like the elongated with the plastic on the edge, so I'm not going to burn my fingers. So we grab hold of this, we just hold it there in our tongs. And again, you can use the lighter, but it's going to take freaking forever. Whereas if I go like this, it's still going to take a little bit of time, but it's not going to take nearly as long. This is probably the bad part about the charcoal, is the lighting process of the charcoal and how long it actually takes to light this up. But once it's lit, this sucker is going to stay lit. Just like your barbecue grill, once it's lit, it's going to sit there and it will cook your food for hours. So, I mean, you can sit there and you can get this sucker lit and going, and then throughout the day, just come and drop a couple of pieces of resin on it when you just want that extra boost of smell into the air, or if you're going to be doing meditation or cleansing of the home or whatever like that. Okay, look at that beautiful red. Look at that. That's what we want to see. That's what you want to see. Okay, so now I'm going to put this into my cauldron. I'm just going to turn it slightly so that the dip is up. Okay, just like what we talked about. Make sure that the dip is up, and that's now inside. And now the charcoal doesn't smoke. I have some resin in there, and I was using the sage and the Palo Santo and dipping that inside. So the smoke that you actually see right now is not from the charcoal. Be very understanding of that. This smoke is from when I doused the sage, when I doused the Palo Santo, and when I used my resin earlier. So now you take your resin of whatever it is that you're wanting to use, whether it's the Three Kings or the myrrh or the dragon's blood, and just simply drop a couple little tiny pieces in there and let that come through, and just enjoy the moment. Allow it to take you to a peaceful, beautiful bliss place. And once again, you can get your feathers that you've either gathered from around from when they've given you gifts. You can purchase a package of feathers, colorful feathers if you want. You can make your own, and these are just nice little loose feathers like that. And you can make your own little fan and just sit there and fan it out. Okay, so the camera's getting really smoky and the room's getting nice and smoky. You can see how little tiny bit of resin is going to fill the whole air with all kinds of amazement, so that we don't have to worry about. You can see that. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Whoosh. Whoosh. Okay. Anyway, that's how you use your resin. And again, as you noticed, when you're done using your resin and you want your charcoal to sit there and be good for later, you just put that lid right on there, and it's going to smother it and suffocate that out. And then you'll be able to use your charcoal piece again later for a following. Resin is also referred to as an incense. So yes, incense sticks. You might run across somebody that's talking about incense, and you thinking they're talking about the sticks, but they're actually referring to this resin. And when people are using the charcoal and the resin mix, such as this Three Kings resin, it is an incense. So be aware that if they state this, that they can be talking about this being an incense. And there are, you put the charcoal in one of these and you put it in that container. It has a little, the lid actually has a little hole on the top or a spout, and it kind of blows off. And you see the monks swirling it and whooshing it back and forth, and a little bit of smoke coming out. That's exactly what they're doing right here. Is they've got the charcoal, they've got a little bit of resin in there, and they're going through the area and they're cleansing out their sanctuary and their home. So next I want to talk about the feathers. I kind of talked about them a little bit here and there. The feathers I love to gather when I go out on walks in the nature forests. Or at a park, or sometimes you're out just doing your errands, and the birds will drop you a gift right there at your feet, and it's a beautiful sight. This one, I was actually on my way into the post office to mail a package, and the bird came and flew around on top, landed on a post, and as I approached, the feather came coming down and landed right there at me. It was basically a gift from the birds. And so I treasure this one very much. But you can find all kinds of little turkey feathers and crackle feathers and all kinds of fun things like that. Again, if you want to just buy a package of feathers, you can do that if you want them colorful, or if you want them just back to their regular state of how they are. They sell those all over the place, so you can definitely do that. Many people turn feathers into their own little feather fans, feather wands, and so I might have a class on how to do that. This is just something, the very basic beginning steps of how to do something along that nature, just so that I had something to show you for the video. But that is nowhere near completion. But a feather is, as you're using the feather to whoosh the smoke, visualize it flowing away the negativity, and pushing away all the negative and pushing that out and about, so that the positive cleansing era can come into your sacred space that you are creating. So once you have completed that process, and you haven't used the sage sticks, all of them, remember just to extinguish them or put the red lid on the resins, and make very important, make sure that's a heat resistant container. Now next, you might be saying to me, well, that's all great and wonderful, but as you can see, there's a lot of smoke, and isn't there something, I mean, my so-and-so that lives with me has asthma, or I can't handle all of that smoke in the air. Isn't there something that we can do that doesn't put this smoke into the air? And my answer is, of course there is. So one of the next things that I would suggest would be some crystals, and such as selenite. And I love selenite. Black tourmaline, clear quartz. They can also be used for cleansing of energies. And I'll show you how to use those in a different video. But basically, you just, for a personal space, you do the same thing as you would for with the smoke, and just completely engulf your aura and cleanse yourself out. But I'll do a nice video in a little bit. I'm showing you how to do that. Also, you can use essential oils. And now I do make my own line of essential oils. And again, I'll talk about those essential oils in another video, all of the different wonderful benefits that I create with those. But by diffusing essential oils like lavender or orange, clove, eucalyptus, tea tree, they all can come in and help you cleanse that energy out of your home, all of that negative energy, and cleanse and clear that all out. Salt bowls, like what we were talking about earlier, how we can use this salt bowl for dousing out your sage. You can also get yourself a fun little bowl and add some salt to it. I like to do a combination of salt. The table salt's okay, but you really want the sea salt, the Himalayan salt, the Dead Sea salt, and make a nice, beautiful mixture. I have that mixture on my website if you're interested in that. So you can go there and look at that and get those. But you can easily just take some of this and sprinkle it around a doorway, or you can take a container of it and place it in each corner of your home, or even under the bed if somebody's having bad dreams, and just replace it every week, because that salt's going to be absorbing all of that negativity. And so depending on how much negativity is in the home is going to depend on how often you need to replace the salt. And in bad environments where you need deep cleansings, you want to replace it every week. But when you're doing a regular ritual of or cleansing in the home of some sort, then it'll last a little bit longer. But especially homes that you're not able to fill the home with smoke once a year, once every 6 months, then this salt bath is really going to be a large benefit for that. You can also use the combination of the different salts. Again, your intent, adding the magic, adding the intent, adding the positive energy into it, and then put it into your bathtub and soak in it will help draw out all of that negativity out of your body and out of your system, so that you can be able to be more rejuvenized. And that is going to be your salt bath. that you see a lot of people being able to use. So that's coming to the end of my video then, but I want to leave you with experiment. Different techniques work better for different people. Nobody is the same. Everybody is unique. And using this and this and this might work for person A, where using the salt might work better for person B. So whether you're using the sage, the Palo Santo, the resin, the incense, the crystals, the selenite sticks, these are all amazing ways that are widely available, but just whatever resonates with you and your current belief system is going to be the best thing for you in incorporating that into your cleansing rituals and providing that essence of your spiritual practice. Regular cleansing can help you be able to maintain a very positive energy flow in both your personal and your living spaces. Remember, please set a clear intention before you start using any of these cleansing tools. Set your intention of what it is that you are wanting to have accomplish and use the tool that best resonates with you. Practice with them all, try them all, see what works best for you and your belief system, and make your sacred space just a beautiful well-being that fosters great positive energies. You have an amazing, amazing, beautiful, blissful day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.